earrings this morning, and we have other things to work on now. So let us come back to me. Hello again. Friday. I know I said that like 100 times. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be doing today. I probably need to adjust that camera, but that's fine. I've got like 5 things to get done before the 23rd, and I'm going to break them up into I'm going to do the low-hanging fruit first, because I'd like to just spend today and tomorrow, and I think I'm going to stream tomorrow just so you can actually see. You've seen a lot of me start things, but you haven't seen me finish anything, so I'm hoping to remedy that. And I've broken up the things that I have to do. I'm going to do these easy pendants and earrings today and tomorrow, and hopefully get those completely done. And that will give me, I'll have the 2 big pieces. I've got another Carolina red necklace that is done, and it's getting a custom back on it with a quote, which is going to involve a lot of making a bunch of that little tiny letters. And then another Sacred Forest necklace. So that is kind of exciting, but that will give me time to just focus on those 2 things. It's just easier. And I actually don't need to make 2 pairs of these pink lotus blossom earrings. I just wanted to, because that's just how I roll. So we have, and this is a late addition to the party, another pair of the laurel leaf earrings, but these are really pretty in shades of green and pale blue. And I don't have that. I thought I might have the bases, but I don't. So we don't need these, and we don't need these. We're going to save these for another day. We've got the bases for this one. We've got these little guys ready to go. Oh, good morning, Peg from Chesapeake. Yes, and I was feeling bad about it. And I also think it was probably, I might be a little self-conscious. Well, also because doing the grinding and the polishing, it will involve me messing with the cameras a lot more than I love to. But I actually have a new iPad. My husband needed his iPad back, so I actually got a new iPad. It's very nice, and I'm using that, and it's a little bit smaller, less cumbersome, so I'm hoping to be able to manipulate the camera a little bit more to go over to the grinding, because we're also going to be soldering today. Not soldering, we're going to be fusing today. So that's what's happening. So we have these bases made. You can see, I'm going to lift up a little bit so we can see what's going on. So we got bases, but I don't have the bases for this. So the first thing we're going to do is, I got to saw them out. I'm going to saw these out, fuse them, and then we'll move forward. And there's going to be some wire work today. So wires, get the bases done, maybe get to we got a lot to do. So without further ado, we should definitely get started. And what do I have? I have made a little cutting thing, knowing that I was going to have to saw these out today. So just will, and honestly, get rid of that. So I'm going to move these bases out of the way, because those are good to go. Our little friends. And yeah, I colored these this morning. I need the visual cue of what I'm doing, or else it's so easy to get confused. Because when you're just looking at, these bases and a mess of wires, you're like, what's going on? So I have to give myself, it's kind of like my menu du jour that I've done. So we're going to get that out of the way for now. And let's get some fine silver. Oh, good morning, Vilna. Welcome to Friday. Hopefully we'll get some things done. I gotta get we're gonna use our 20 gauge fine silver sheet. Remember, 20 gauge is 0.812 millimeters. And I keep it down here. All right, so let's there's going to be some sawing. There's just a lot going on today. There we go. What are the chances? Ooh, I have a piece. Think this. You think this is gonna fit? Oh, that's perfect. Good enough anyway. Good enough. We'll probably need more for the backs, but that's okay. So we'll start by gluing that in place. So yeah, hopefully, if all goes well, we are going to make these earrings from start to finish today and tomorrow. And yeah, but so I'm going to try to be I'm going to be very focused. So the first thing is I'm going to glue this little thing. And I thought, oh gosh, maybe I already have one of these cut out or fused, because I do have a whole lot of fine silver bases just kind of ready to go. Whenever I get a chance, I try to have some done, but I did not. So I did not. Let's just get that stuck to, not in the middle like that. Let's scooch it over. There we go. Let's not waste more silver than we need to, because I can make 2 sample strips out of this end. There we go. That'll do. Didn't really need to use that, but that's okay. So next up, we got to drill 4 little holes. 4 tiny holes. Let me just start with these. That's better than nothing. And I'm going to put them right here. And here. That is good. Oh. And what size? I usually use a size 52 drill bit. It's a kind of a perfect size that the ready-made ear wires fit perfectly through there. So that's kind of my go-to size drill bit. And I don't know what that is in millimeters. So sorry, it's covered. Yesterday I was doing so much grinding and polishing. I've got pumice powder over everything. It is so dirty, the pumice. Go. Now we're just going to saw these out. I've got, let's scooch this over. I've got my handy dandy, this thing. Let's see if we can make, oh, I might have to come out a little bit. There we go. Let's see where would be a better place for it. There we go. Well, that'll just have to do. Let me scooch this over a little bit. Is that better? Maybe. It's hard to know. Anyway, let me get this attached and we will. I also do have to solder that 5mm stone thing. No, you know what? That's a side quest. That is not part of our goal for today. Come on. There we go. Alrighty. That's good. Well, there we go. Now, we've got that. Probably would like to have a, whatever these are called, jewelry. And what size should we use? I'm thinking, let's use I think a 3/0 would be fine. It's a nice, easy pattern. So I like to start and get a fresh blade whenever I'm starting the day. 'Cause who knows what I know I was fooling around with some of those other things and making sure that it's set in the right direction. Hopefully this will be the work of a moment. I'm just going to take a moment. We'll cut that one out first. I do have to remember that these have a direction. And so I definitely want to mark them after I've fused them, or before I fuse them. There we go. So let's go ahead, scooch Solo over there so we can focus. Lock that focus. All right. Got a little bit of our wax. And we are going to saw these little guys out. And if you're just joining us, we're going to be making 4 pairs of earrings and a small pendant today and tomorrow from start to finish. So no time to waste. Yeah, I thought I was going to double stream to Facebook today, and then I was just like, no way. No, I don't need that level of complexity in my life. Good morning, Kim. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. There we go. Save that. We'll get that in a second. All right, one interior done. I was the first person in line at the post office this morning. Actually, it wasn't that busy. I usually go to the post office downtown because you have to pay for, like, you have to pay for parking or take your chances. But I usually throw in at least a quarter. but it's worth it because the other post office, which is kind of near the grocery store, I walked in there the other day and I just walked right back out. I think there were 30 people in line. So, but a little bit of wax. Go. Good morning, Nilanjana64. Yeah, it wasn't actually it was delightful here yesterday. No, we were in like the 70s here just two days ago. It's colder today. It's supposed to get cold, progressively colder towards Christmas. And Minnesota. Well, I guess Minnesota wins the Cold War, unless our friend from Sweden is here. There we go. We got that. And you know what? I'm going to just do a little bit of filing. It's not bad, but right where I started and finished. It's easier to file before I pull them apart. So let's just see what we have. And I guess something along those lines will be fine. Where did I start and stop? Actually, I didn't do too bad of a job if I can't find it. Ow. Good way to start the day. That's good. And this one. That's good enough. Now we can cut out the rest. Let's start on this side. A little bit of this. Well, we'll clean that up in a moment. A little bit of a nibble. Let's come over here. No. there's one. Oop. Dropped the other on the floor. There we go. One more to cut out, and then fusing. There we go. Good enough. Let's just get this. Actually, I want to, yeah, I guess I do want to start on this side. I'm getting a little close. Welcome from Kansas City. Thank you. First time chatter. I have never, she's asking if I have ever worked in precious metal clay, and I have not. I have a weird, I don't like clay. I don't like the feel of clay on my fingers, but I know lots of artists have really good experience. You can certainly enamel on it. But it's just not my forte. I'm gonna see if I can come over here. Is it Pam East that does the precious metal clay? I gotta look it up. She's very good. And that's actually not true. I have actually, I bought a little bit of the precious metal clay. I wasn't very good. I just don't have like a 3D. I was like, oh, I'm going to make something like really sculptural with it. And I made like a lumpy gump thing. It was so terrible. And then it all dried up. And it was early on, back when the clay really was a little harder to use than it is now. But I just never revisited it. Oh, I'm just having a morning. There we go. Just a little bit. There we go. All that is good. 2 little pieces ready to go. We are done with the saw. Done sawing, but peel these papers off. Let's just autofocus that. And honestly, let's see what that is. There we go. We've got the tops of our earrings. And again, these are 20 gauge fine silver sheet. And 20 gauge is what, 0.812 millimeter? I believe that is the case. Now, we are done sawing, so I'm going to get rid of this sawhorse since we don't need it anymore. There we go. Snowy Minnesota. It would be hard. Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit brisk the other day. And when I say brisk, it was maybe like 39 degrees. I don't know. And I grew up in Ohio, snowy Ohio. But you realize how fast. But, to be honest, I can handle humidity and heat like a champ. So, there we go. I don't know why that was hard. We'll say goodbye to our sweet little sawhorse. You can go live back up there, buddy. And let's just come back over here. We've got this and that. I'm going to save these because I can use them as templates for cutting my silver foil later. So we've got, I really wish I hadn't used this as my thing. Messed up my piece of paper. Bothers me. So we've got these. Now we need to get a little bottom piece of, get some silver. Do I have paper? I just like to see what's going on. And so we do need, let's see, what are the chances of me not having to cut into this huge piece? Probably, that's probably, I don't know that it's worth wasting that huge, well, maybe. Oh, I don't think it's gonna fit. So I'm gonna save that because that's bigger and that'll be better for something big. It's a nice healthy piece. So yes, I am going to have to crack open this. And I think, honestly, I could probably just do that. If I do what isn't, or should I do 1 inch? Let's see. I'm just trying to be like, what am I doing next? All right, I'm gonna cut, let me do 1 1/4. Let me mark it. So 1 1/4 sounds good. That's probably good. Oh, and I want to flip these over like that, and then this like that. All right, now I need to go cut this on the cutter. Dare we walk over there together? Now, my microphone is on this phone, so there's not going to be anything, but let's walk over to the cutter and cut them out. Let's see how the new camera travels. Are we ready? We're traveling. Was that a fun field trip? Yes. All right, so we've got those things. That actually wasn't terrible. Well, for me, I'm not sure how it is for you. And I do like to mark my silver so I remember what it is. Did I mark that? Okay, that is good. Put this away. Don't need that no more. Now we just have to do a little sanding. We've got this, double check that it fits, and a little bit of that. And we'll start with a little bit, switching out the drill bit. Don't need that. What are the chances of this one? Still being good. Now, you don't have to use a Fordham tool to do this. It just makes it more fun, I guess. The question is 20 gauge my go-to thickness for earrings? It is my go-to thickness. Well, yes and no. 20 gauge for chamlivé top pieces, well, and bottom pieces is my go-to. But you'll notice, you won't notice because I made these earlier. These pink earrings, I actually went a little thicker on the base. I used 18 gauge, and 18 gauge is, I don't know, we'll call it 1 millimeter, 0.95 millimeters. I went thicker for this because I know I need to have a nice thick protective barrier, and I don't want to run out of space and grind away all my nice pink. So these have a thicker top, but on the other hand, they also have a thinner back, so they end up being the same thickness all in all. So that is hopefully the answer to the question. And we're going to just be using 60 micron sanding disc, or you could just use regular sandpaper. I'm not going to use water this time. Probably going to cut myself, but I don't feel like messing around. We only have 2 things to do. So let me mark these front and back, because you can see that they are kind of mirror images of each other, and I don't want to do them backwards. So I'm going to mark the tops. And then sand the bottom. I'm going to take one moment and maybe flatten these. Get the dust out of here first. Good enough. Oh, thank you. I have so many dumb headbands. I like wearing them, and it makes me not have to like worry about what my hair is doing, because I'm like, well, I'm festive with a headband. So you've not even seen half of my headbands. So I got them all on Etsy too. They're handmade. They're just gorgeous. Let's see. What was I going to do? Oh, yes. I'm going to flatten these. They're so long and skinny. They're not going to flatten. But you know what? I feel the need to give it a go anyway. You might as well try to set yourself up. But with long and skinny things like this, they're just going to curl up. Remember those little red fishies that would tell you your fortune based on how they would curl? I almost feel like these are similar to that. Flip them upside down. That's good. Let's flip it upside down. Good enough. All right, so we have sanded, we've flattened. Now I'm going to clean them with some isopropyl alcohol, which is all the way over there, and one of these. Let us. Isopropyl, very exciting. This is, oh, it expired back last year. I think it's still going to be good though. Didn't know that isopropyl alcohol could expire. This one's a little dirty. I need to wash my, I'm just going to gently, let's not spill that. that. There we go. Gonna just wipe these down. Just like that. And put it back. I don't know that one is so dirty. Now, just a little. All right. One. Did I do it backwards? Yes. Yes, I did one of them backwards. Well played, Sandra. Well played. Even after I marked them, I wasn't even paying attention. All right, that should be. That's good, that's good. I'm gonna use this one, get a little bit of this. Now, if you don't know what this is, don't worry about it. It's just fusing liquid. It helps create a eutectic bond between the two distinct silver pieces without using any solder. So these pieces aren't soldered together, they're just fused, just silver. I'm gonna set that. And you know, these aren't the easiest things because they're so long and skinny. I almost wish I had something else to oh, should I? No, see, here I am trying to add things. Should I fuse? I have like a whole things of things that could be fused. But no time. Gotta stay focused. Got to stay focused. Just gentle. There we go. Now we do want to let these dry because if we try to heat these up before they've dried, they'll bubble up and kind of move the tops, which could be not great. So I'm going to go put these under the heat lamp on the other side of the room, and then we will set up our acetylene torch and get ready to fuse these pieces. Now, we have nothing to look at. Let's go solo there. Hey! Now, you see behind me is my torch setup, and it's a bit of a mess, so we're not going to be soldering anything, so I can move the pickle pot out of the way. We don't need that. And I think we can just use a tripod, a basic tripod. So we don't need any water right now, so that can go out of the way. And that can go out of the way because that's something that's happening later. Don't need any of this. So also, will this reach? Maybe. No, I'm not going to be able to turn the light on. So maybe I'm going to go ahead and bring the light over. Well, that won't plug in either. Well, you know what? we're just going to move that other camera. Let's do this. We'll figure it out while we've got time while things are drying. So let's move this. Right over here. There we go. I think that'll work. That should be fine. Not bad, not bad. We'll rearrange in a moment. And let me get my tripod. And honestly, this thing can go away. Because we don't need. There we go. And how about, let's get the good one. Clean this up. Just like that. Now let's just see if we, there we go. That should be good. Right there. Now, oop, hold on. Oh, let's just do that side. There we go. I'll figure it out. I've got to turn on. I've got my acetylene tank down here. I'm going to turn it on. There we go. That's good. Alrighty, I bet the pieces are ready for fusing, so I'm going to go get them and we'll just take a moment and get this totally fused. I wonder if it's easier to, well, down a little lower. All right, well, let's do it. Let's do it, everybody. And I've got a pokey tool and got to turn this on. We'll start on the left. It's not my favorite shape to start with. Come on, buddy. There we go. Okay. Press you down. There we go. All right, let's pull it from top to bottom. Come on. Top to bottom. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's do the other one. Good, good. Press this down. All right, top to bottom again. Boom, boom, boom. Pull it all the way through. Nice. That's good. What? Maybe we can put that right there. Right there. Put you right there. Cool you off. That's good. There we go. There we go. Let us see what's going on. I like to dub before I turn off the acetylene. I hate to turn on the acetylene tank to do one tiny fusing like this, but it is what it is. So I'm looking to see, let me see if I can get a little closer. It's not going to focus. I'm looking at that white, I want to see a white seam, because a white seam says that is silver to silver with no gaps, and that's exactly what I'm seeing. So that is, these are perfectly fused. Like, they are now one piece. They will never come undone. You could solder them, you could do other things, but they are now permanently attached. So that is good. And I'm going to take one moment and just go ahead and turn off my acetylene tank, since we don't need it for the rest of the day. And between this, oh, I've got a big old, it's a big old room. And I do have, I don't have a vent that goes outside. There's just, unfortunately, no way to do that. And I have a little fan that pulls it away from my face. So honestly, I don't worry about it. So I don't do it every single day, all day. So I tend to, do my fusing in bits and bobs. So that is it. But yeah, if you were in a really small enclosed space that was not those pretty airtight, you might want to consider a nice venting system. So that is good. Let me go turn off that thing, because I totally always forget. All right, so yeah, we could do it together. Dare we do it together? Let's see if we can come all the way down. Speaking of, okay, hold on. There it is. Is it gonna go down even farther? Exciting. There it is. So to turn it off, see, I even have like a little thing. So I am a little OCD. I have like a little checklist, because I read somewhere that even the simplest thing, it's easy to forget one thing because you do it so often. So basically, the first thing we do is we turn the tank off, and I have it marked close. So I close it. Really good. This particular one is a little bit of a bitch. Oh, sorry about that. And I bleed the hose. That's why it's a bit wasteful to just turn it on for a single thing. There we go. These are reading down, so that is done. And then I loosen the nozzle like that. And then I press this little thing and I say to myself, safety first. Very, that was very exciting. Now, let's go back and continue along. That was the fusing of the silver today. So we're going to come back over here. And there we go. Wait, where do we want to be? There we Yes, so sat on that. Can go back down there. All right, good. So we'll deal with that in a moment. Let's just solo over here so I don't have to worry about that. We have our bases and they're fused. We're done with the fusing liquid. And before I cut these out, I'm going to drill these holes. Remember, we drilled them in the top ones for our ear wires. So let's just finish those holes. A little wax in each hole. We got to go back to our size. If you use the same drill bit every time, you never have to worry about remembering. So take that. Come on, buddy. Now we'll just saw these. And the good news is we don't have to saw out the exterior. We can just cut them. It's just to remember. So remember the way, the direction that we're going for that. And the next thing is I'm just going to cut out the exteriors with my Fiskars. I should have just left it over there because we're gonna have to go over to the grinder next. So yeah, I think having this smaller secondary camera, that the other camera was a huge, it was like full-size iPad, and I had it like taped with gaffing tape to like a pole. You couldn't really move it. So this new little iPad that I'm using is small and maneuverable. So we should be able to go over to the grinding station, which is going to be good. It'll be kind of like a playlist for tomorrow when we're grinding and polishing. And don't worry, we'll reshape these. There we go. So we have our basic shapes, and then let's go ahead and put these in our fine silver scrap, which we do. We have so much fine silver scrap. We need to send that in for refining. That is good. We're doing all of it. Things are about to slow down. The moment I finish these bases, we're going to slow down and do wires for quite a while. So let's get the next level. I'm just really like plowing forward. So we're going, oh, I didn't put this one away. These little bits. Hold on. Boom. There we go. Now we're going to walk over. I could file these edges by hand, but I am lazy and I don't like to do that. And I'm just going to go walk over to my grinder. And you're probably not going to be able to hear me because and I'm still working on the situation with the microphone. So hopefully we'll get that in the next week. I'll be able to go everywhere and be on mic. So I'm just going to go do it. So it's going to be quiet time. So let's go to the grinder. Oh, and switch over there. Oh, let's go to the grinder. I got to turn it on. put them. Here they are. All right, I am nice and wet. There we go. So we've done the edges, and it's not the final edge, it's just cleaning it up and getting rid of the seam for the most part. So the last thing we're gonna do for these before we get too far along is I'm going to sand the back real fast and then dome them, and then they will be ready to go along with their other brethren, and we can think about wires. And did I get a fresh one of these? There we go. see if this is still good. Is all good. Last thing is I'm just going to give them a little bit of doming. So let me, oh, I got water all over my iPad. I'm going to get a little paper towel and wipe down my iPad and also get some dapping. Or do I? I'm trying to, do I? Having some thoughts. Yeah, we'll just keep it simple. Maybe a little bit more. That's good. A little bit more. That should be good. Now, let's see where we are. We've got these lovely guys are ready to go. This little guy is ready to go. These little landscape earrings and these sweet pink lotus blossom earrings. Our bases are complete and ready to go. An hour, it only took an hour, it wasn't so bad. Now we have our next step is before I get to the next step, I will say that if you haven't subscribed to me, please consider doing so. If you have Amazon Prime, it is free. You get one free subscription per month, and it really does go to support. Right now, I'm not even revenue because I'm paying. It doesn't matter. I'm using Switcher, which costs $50. Everything is nickel and diming you. So right now I'm paying to make this happen. So if you can subscribe, I ask, please consider it. Or if you're already subscribed to hold on, let me go over here. If you're already subscribed to my Vimeo channel, please consider that. I have tutorial videos on my Vimeo channel, and they come out twice a month, and they're very much more project-based. It's not higgly-piggly like what you see here. So if you are watching this and you want to pick a reason to send me some money, please either do Twitch or consider doing Vimeo. That would be lovely. Or buy something. Or you can buy some of these earrings. Not before Christmas, though. So, thanks. That was my pitch. And that is good. I think we can get rid of that. Now, we got to do wires. Wires. All silver wires, which is nice, simple. And I'm going to get some of these. I like to get some double stick tape. There we go. And we're going to be luckily none of these wires are particularly difficult. So it should, you know, I'm not going to say it's not going to take a little time, but it should be pretty standard. So I've got this little guy. To fold you over, and I've got these. Oh, and I have to remember that for these 18 gauge, let me make a note. They need to be taller. My wires for the pink need to be taller because I made them deeper. So I need to have special things for that. What is this going to fit? All in one? Oh yeah, there we go. Satisfying. We've got that. We need our landscape. Oh yes, thank you. I hope it was helpful. I realized how much, things I haven't changed and things that I have changed as far as tools and supplies. So, but I'm always kind of trying to reevaluate what I'm doing and what tools I'm using, because it's easy to get into a rut and think, this is the way I've always done it, and this is, you know, there's nothing that needs to change, when that is not the case. Now I need one more of these, and then we're gonna slow down. I wish I could put music on, so, but that would probably overtax my Wi-Fi, and also I don't know if you're allowed to do, and also nobody needs to hear my music, so there we go. Now we have our double stick tape, and we're ready to do our wires. I'm making a big mess. They're gonna end up everywhere. Don't need that. Don't need this. Now, I'm gonna put these silver bases. We don't need those just yet. And you know, it bothers me that I'm gonna cut this out. I'm constantly, there we go. We've got that. It should be good enough. And yeah, we'll use this. Will be just fine. We just need to get some silver wire, and I don't think we might have to make some cloisonne wire. I'm gonna see what I have. Let me see what I have in the cloisonne wire drawer. Why is the gold in there? Let's see. I don't have that much actually. So we have a little bit for the backs. We're not using any gold. No gold. We have a little bit. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to make some wire. Oh, we do have. What is this? 24 gauge wires, tall to fit 18 gauge. Oh, nice. Thank you. Whoever did that, that would be me, previous Sandra. 26 gauge. Well, hello. Oh, that'll be good for our pinks. We'll use that. And we do need to make, because I've got these little bits and bobs. It's not enough to make what we need. So let's make some wire. Let me get these sticky things out of the way. Get that. Put these out of the way because they're going to all end up on my elbow. Get some wire, 26 gauge. And we'll want some 28. Yes, 28. That's not. We'll start with the 26. And This is round wire, 26 gauge. 26 gauge is 0.405 millimeters. And I'm just going to make, do we want some thicker stuff? No, nope, nope, just all this. Just all of this. And we are going to have to take another field trip to the rolling mill. So this is just a day of field trips. This should be enough. 1, 2, 3. Let's do 2 more. I'd rather make more than I'd have to wander back over there. That should be plenty. Well, 1 more. No, that's plenty. That's plenty. And we'll start. Do we want to make some 28? Yes. Let's make a little 28 while we're here. Do I have? Is that really the only? I don't want to crack that open if I don't have to. But we have a little bit of that. And this is for the backs, so it's a lot thinner. So. Because I don't need it to be as tall. So I'm going to do just 2 of the 28s. Will be fine. 2, 3 of the, you never know. Better to, what's going on? There we go. All right. 3 bits of 28 gauge. Now we're going to go over to, we're going to grab our round wire. Look at our little, let's try to keep it all together. I got my 28 gauge right there. And I got my 26 gauge in the other finger. And we're going to go over to the rolling mill. And I'm actually going to take this camera, the one on the left, with me because I'll probably want to be talking while I do it. So, okay, good. I've got, let's just see what happens. I'm going to have to turn the light off though. Let's do it. Nicely done, nicely done. Now, you guys have that right there. There we go. That's not so bad. Now, we'll start, remember we have the thin and the thick. We'll start with the thick. And, oh, no, we're good. We don't need the pink stuff because we already have that. Here is a piece of scrap 20 gauge. That's as tall as I'm going to make it. You know, that's all. It's all very exciting. I don't suppose I was, no. Let's just see. That's good. Nice. See if that's the right height. That looks perfect. Let's go for it. Go. First piece of cloisonne wire of the day. I'm gonna put you over here. Let's back up a little bit. I don't think it's that exciting, but we're just gonna, now that I got it all set, I'm just gonna run all of it through. Work around the camera. There we go. I think we're making 6 of these. Honestly, we probably can just do this. There we go. How many more? Ugh, 3 more. 3. What a... I'm always like, but I'm always glad I made as much as I did. There we go. For some reason, these are all stuck together. Good. If you'd like a full explanation of what is happening right now, you can check out my Vimeo channel. Hold on. There we go. Very exciting. I have a quick introduction to making close-in wires that kind of walks you through what I'm doing and why, and it's not rocket science, but you know what? Making your own close-in wires frees you up and saves you some money. So you'll never go back. So, get rid of that. We have the last little bit, which is our 28 gauge, really, really thin. Look how thin these wires are. And I want them to not be as tall because they are for the decorative elements on the back. So, let's see where we are with that. A bit more. That looks good. And there's only 3 of these. Very, look how thin this is. Just the thinnest wire. All right, one more. You know what we should do while we're over here? We should do our textured silver foil. Let's do that. And then I will have exactly what I need. So we've made our wire, and I'm gonna grab some silver foil and we're gonna put some texture on it because then I won't have to come back just to do that and mess with the camera. So that's what we're gonna do. Let me go get it. I have retrieved fine silver foils, and let's think about the texture that we want. I'm going to kind of come over here for a moment just to think about it, you know, as one does. And I'm going to move these wires back to the station as well so they don't. Here's our lovely wires that we made. I don't want them to end up on the floor. think about textures, I think I'm going to use this texture plate. I have an idea of the textures we're going to use, so I'm just going to make some. I also have a thing about texturing silver foil on my Vimeo, so, but if you just pay close attention, you may not even need it. So we're going to do another one of those. Just letting things fall on the floor. It's not ideal, but fine. Those, and honestly, I think it's no, and then we'll do the kind of, we're going to do 2 of this texture and then 1 other of just kind of the crosshatch texture. I think will be nice for that other one. So let me think about where I'm going to put this. Just now we're going to come over to our rolling mill, and obviously it's set right now for some very thin wire, which we don't. Not doing thin wire, doing something a little thicker. No, not that thick though. Hold on. Right there. That'll be good. And on the other side, beautiful. There is our piece of textured foil. I'm gonna make another one of those. Like that. Exactly the same. Oh, do I want to do this one too? Trying to just, you want to get a good location. There we go. That's what happened, because I can't reach around to the left because the camera's in the way. Just letting it fall. It's all fine and dandy. Look at this really lovely piece of textured silver foil. And one last bit. I think I want to do, maybe I want to do 2. No, I want to do, we're going to do one of this one, and then, well, we'll do one of this. That'll be good. So let me cut another piece of silver. There we go. Got a piece of that. Get that plastic out of the way. And I know I have one more piece of plastic. I wonder if we could do this in halves. Yes, let me cut this in half. Oh, there's 2 in there anyway. Perfect. We're saving ourselves some time later. I mean, this all needed to happen today. So, let's just come over here so it doesn't fall down. There we go. Oh, that's a pretty one. Look at that texture right there. Looks lovely. And then one more texture will be this kind of, I like this, it's like a really pretty wave thing. And I have one more piece. Probably don't. It's probably way more than we need. And I'm going to make this one, it's a very pale texture. I'm going to tighten it up a little bit, make sure I get a little bit more oomph on this. This texture plate's a little soft. There. Okay, let's reach right now. Never mind. Just fall anywhere. That's perfect. Oh, that's a good texture. So there we go. We've done our textures, which is nice. And we're done for now with the rolling mill. So and put that back. Grab that. That's garbage. There we go. I'm going to walk this over, then I'll come back and get the camera. Now we're ready to go back. Oh, let's get rid of that. There we go. That's pretty nice. Deal with that. Let me turn on the light. All this mess. Look at all of this stuff. There we go. Whew, that was an adventure. So let's regroup and think about what we just did. And did I leave I left my tweezers over there. There we go. It's important, especially since that's my favorite pair of tweezers. Now, what are we doing? All right, that. Let's just see where we are. So we have made, this is a really pretty texture. We'll do this in a moment. When we have a spare time, we'll cut these into the right shapes. Maybe we'll anneal them. We should anneal. No. Maybe. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. But those are ready to go. And so I'm going to save these. And you know what? I'm going to just put them in. And then this is the untextured silver foil, which can go back in the drawer. Thank you for now. Just, I know, you see I already have a lot of silver foil, but I'm just going to put what we made right in there, just so it doesn't end up, everything ends up on the floor. Why is that? So we're going to try to prevent that from happening by putting it in this little box. Set the box over there. And now it is time for wires. Remember the wires that we made, which feels like 100 years ago. Now these are the little wires we made that are 28 gauge. We don't need them yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put them back in this little baggie. And here's where things are going to slow down and just, you can't rush wires. So we've got all of these lovely, lovely thick wires. I love doing that. I just love wires in general. They're just very beautiful. If you don't love the material, you can't love the process. I don't know, that's not very helpful. So I'm going to leave one of them out for us to work with. And then I'm going to put the rest in the baggie. Guess why? So they don't end up on the... You should see what I find when I sweep up. There's just so much stuff on the floor here. I told you I found those wires that I had lost on the floor. They were fine, though. They were fine. So our wires are just going to hang out over there. I'm going to get a nice clean piece of paper because you know I like to work out on a nice work surface. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm tired of looking at me. Well, nah, I guess it's fine. It'll be fine. Yep, no. We'll just do this. solo. I'm going to take a moment. There we go. And we've got that. We've got our wires. Let's grab a few tools and chill out a little bit. We've got our round things, so we're gonna just set those here. We don't need these guys, so we'll set you guys over there. And we've got tweezers, cutters, round nose, chain nose. So we're going to use all of those tools to make these wires. And we're going to start with the easy ones, which, you know, the easy ones are actually those Pink Lotus ones, which aren't using this particular wire. It's fine. So we're gonna take that. I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna grab my tall wires for 26 tall, 24. Yes, so we've got our tall wires, and I made these bases deeper so we have more room for this hot fuchsia pink, because pinks tend to be more reactive. So I need a larger barrier between the silver, and that's what that is all about. And I'm going to move this one back to, let me put this back in my 26 bag because things get crazy. This little guy, that seems good. We'll move you there. I like to be nice and ordered. There we go. And I think I'm not going to fuss too much with the lights, because I think what made me cut off the streaming thing the other day was I was fussing with the lights. And it was, it was trying to I don't know, it messed up it messed up my stream somehow. I don't know if that makes any sense. Is this really 24 gauge? It feels so thin. Okay, no, I believe it. I'm not believing it. I wouldn't lie to myself. Maybe I want 22 gauge. No, we're not going to make any more wires. This will be just fine. This will be fine. But I am going to cut it in half. Let's just get started with this. Let's see what we have. It's not terrible. And since I'm making basically 4 of the same thing, I'm just going to do them all at the same time and from the same thing, but obviously 2 of them will be flipped. That'll be fine. And I just want to make sure they're going to be tall enough. Just test them in the... Yeah, that's fine. Yes. Because it would not be great if I went to all this trouble and then they were too short. Actually, this one seems like the right size. Oh yeah, we got how many more? A lot. this side. Always start with the easy things. There we go. Clean. You know, I'm going to do that. That's good. You know, I got a message. I don't know should I share this story? I don't know. Maybe it's mean-spirited, but I got a message from somebody on one of my social media sites. Remember the big bracelet that I made that had inside and outside? I could go get it, but it's not that relevant to the story. But I got a message from some guy that was like, I'm going to need you to send me the detailed design for both the front and the interior of that bracelet. And he sent a picture of my bracelet because I want to make this bracelet in my own, you know. And I was like, dude, I don't think so. I didn't say that, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you to send me the design so I can make it, but I'm going to make it in gold, is what he said. I'm like, oh, good for you, buddy. There we go. Got that. Now we're going to make some little triangles. Boy, my fingers are dirty from the grinder. Should have washed them. But what you gonna do? Let's just that's good. That's good. A little bit more. One more of these. That's good. Let's make 2 little curlicues for the top. Just the tiniest little curlicues. See how tiny that is? Just a little nibble of green at the top. Just a kiss of green. And we'll fuss with those in a moment. We don't have a ton of curlicues to do today. Just a few in here. There we go. Oh, and somebody contacted me about my arc welder and I've never replied to them. Deal with that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Tiny little. Doesn't really matter. Boop, 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 boop. Now, I'm gonna fold this over. We've just got 4 more little wires to make. Just gonna fold that over, bend it, wrap it, just like that. See if we can get the rest of these out of this. I think we can. Just do this little guy. Two more of this one. See how fast these are going. One more for these. Fold these over. Go. Those are done. Look at that. 2 pairs down. 1, 2, 3 pairs of something to go. 3 items to go. Let's get something to put these scraps in. Now we're done with the tall wires, so we can put those away. And we're going to move these guys. Let me get a tray so things don't end up poorly. There we go, a little tray. There we go. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put our friends, the silver bases, here so we make sure we know where everything is. It's good to stay organized. There we go. Now let's continue let us do the laurel leaf next. Yes. Yes, that sounds like a plan. Now let's pull out some of these that we just freshly made. You know what? I'm going to pull out two. Why not? Be bold. I got these into shorter lengths. There we go. A nice little pile. And did I do a lot thicker one? You know what? I'm going to do this one first because I can't remember. I'm going to have to look it up if I did a thicker wire here or if I just did the regular. I think I just did the regular, but it's worth going and checking my notes. So we've got this little guy and he's got a lot going on. So let's, here we are. We've got our little sticker. That's good. And we'll start with a nice curly cue. That's probably a pretty nice curly cue. Let's see. First one's always terrible. I'm gonna warm up to it. Let's see how that looks. Let's see if that's gonna fit this one. Oh yeah, that'll be perfect. Just like that. I'll just put you right there. We're going to do all 4 curly cues first and then see where the day takes us. I feel like this is really short. 28. No? Hold on. I don't know why I'm having second thoughts about the height of all these wires. No, it's fine. It's because I was doing a bracelet the other day that had really, really, really tall wires, and so all of a sudden all my wires seem really short in comparison. It's fine. But, you know, sometimes it's good to listen to your spidey sense. Like, am I making a mistake? Before, I've spent an hour and a half bending all of the sizes wrong. Let's see. Is it gonna be? We need more. We need more. Or might loosen that up a little bit. There we go. Let's see where we are with that. nice, but I have a little kink there that I see if I can smooth out. Loosen it up a little bit. I like this curly cue, but I'm not sure it's the right curly cue for the jaw. It's a little too tight, which is normally fine. But I want to make sure I get a lot of green enamel in there. And I'm going to save that one for a different thing. Try it again. Let's try that again. There we go. Let's try. Oh, you know, because I was using the wrong pliers. That's why. Let me start over. Need the slightly bigger. Oh, look, it's stuck. Stuck to my hand. They always end up stuck somewhere, usually my elbow. This is better, and I'll be able to finesse this a little bit. That's better. Let's see. These wide curly cues, these kind of, you know, not tight, they are a lot more challenging to make. There we go. Especially when you want them to be kind of specific looking and they're not random. There, that's good. That will do. Now 2 smaller ones. We've done the 2 hard ones. I just like to make sure. Oops. That's good. Good enough. Now we just have 2 more small ones and then a bunch of little fill-in ones. These. I think that's pretty good. Do. Oh, obviously you need to go up a little bit. Now one more little curly cue. A short one. There we go. And we'll just put it right up there. Now we just need to get our little get some of these. let's trim that. I'm not afraid. Let's try that a little longer. That's good. Let's get this little guy. That's good. I think we can trim you. Then I want this to be a little bit more round. Let's go a little bit deeper. A little bit closer. There we go. Good. See if this little piece will fit. Nope, too short. That's okay. What? Now we just have to make, let's see how those look. Nice. Now we just have to do some curly cues and some dots in the center there. Let's just, now we can use our tiny. We can use our small finally. I'm just going to make a pile of these. I'm going to move you over a little bit, just so we can see what's going on. You don't need very big ones. Oh, are you guys sticking together? What are you guys doing? Don't. Thank you. That's a big enough one. Big enough one. We don't even need that many. I'm going to make 3 more of these and then some dots, and then we'll see. Switch back. Let's be back in there. I know, I don't even know why. Oh. There we go. There. Focus. We need like an AI just for knowing what to focus on. It's a nice little one. One more and then I'll make some dots. Dots. Just hang out over there. It's going pretty fast. Almost done that one. I'll make just a couple more dots. And one more curly Q. One more curly Q. I think so. There we go. Nope. A good one this time. Let's make it a good curly Q. There we go. Perfect Friday curly Q. Now let's just see how many. Let's put some of these in place and see where we are. If we have extra, that's fine because we'll need some for that mountain scenery. And a small little guy right here. Good one right there. Maybe a dot. Sweet. Right there. More little dot. And then a curly Q. Dot. Just like. And a curly Q. Oh, look at that. Oh. Hold on, and one more dot. I'll put you right there. There we go. That was exactly the right number. Yay, that is like a fun little thing. All right, that one is done. Done, done, done. Let's bring our little tray of completion back. You can come live over here. Let us do the mountains. next. You can see I'm putting off doing that laurel leaf. And the only difference is, I know in this thing it's clouds, but it's going to be curlicues. So, nobody panic. Nobody panic. Now with this little guy, we're just going to kind of make some shapes that are mountainous. Mountainous. I'm trying to think about mountains and terrain and just not be too I'm making a lot. We need Alright, that should be enough to get started. Now let's start with our